Hi everyone, it's Susan with the Narcissistic Abuse Journey Alliance. Snaggletooth the Narcissist. How fitting a nickname, don't you think? How they snag and entangle relationships with well-intentioned, good-hearted people. Their web of lying and manipulative dysfunction and destruction prevents them from really opening up and sharing their experiences. It's a twisted, distorted, ugly, mishmash rigmarole of a relationship. Let us not forget that the narcissist lives in a world of hurt. Someone hurt them early on, usually a parent, and the wound was so traumatic that it bruised their vulnerable brain in such a way that they are unable as adults to examine what makes them tick. It's too painful. They can't look at it. They aren't curious or interested about themselves, and they aren't curious about you either. That becomes apparent after you spend any decent amount of time with them. One day you realize that they can't empathize and could care less about you, how you feel about anything, and can't see your point of view. Every time you try and discuss something with them, they go into a narcissistic rage to bully and distract you from your concern and take the heat off of them. They take no responsibility for their part in the relationship. All they care about is getting their narcissistic supply from others and doing every dastardly thing they can think of to keep their mask from falling off, and sadly, to push you away. Their capacity for emotional intimacy is at -1,000. Why do we put up and allow ourselves to get entangled with these fiends? Well, one of the reasons is that our narcissist pushes our unconscious, unhealed childhood wound buttons and holds a mirror up to us, showing us the things that we need to work on, the issues that are deep-rooted and unhealed. As the empath and caring person, we too are holding up a mirror to the narcissist, and they most certainly don't like it. Hence old Snaggletooth and his or her temper tantrum or narcissistic rage. We all come into the world as a blank slate. We then are polluted and influenced by our families. It is our responsibility, after we come into consciousness, to rewrite our stories from what our families have ingrained or placed upon us. We at some point need to carve out our own path. I want to sidestep now a little bit and give an update on the video I did, The Narcissist Next Door. Take a look at that video when you have time so you know the whole story. It'll take too long to discuss that video right now. Once we figure out that we are dealing with a toxic narcissist or a toxic person, we need to stand in our power and not feed into their toxic manipulative behavior. The narcissist next door never fails to deliver. I have been validated over and over again since I made that video as to what a snaggly and ugly person she is. She doesn't get along with anyone. She puts her husband up to her dirty work, can't keep a job. Most toxic narcissists have trouble in the workplace. She's a control freak. She recently had a falling out with yet another neighbor. I've watched her do this now numerous times, and I just sit back and enjoy the show. She love bombs people, trying to become friends with them, and then keeps repeating her same dysfunctional behavior patterns over and over again, and ends up shooting herself in the foot every time. Hallelujah! It's interesting to witness. Even though she upset me, I'm so glad I took a step back and didn't feed into her toxic behavior. She loves creating drama. I have maintained a friendly, neighborly, distant, and civil relationship with her. I have kept her at an arm's length with my boundary nice and firm, but malleable enough for civility. It works. I keep my energy and wits intact. Okay, now just bear with me. I'm going to sidestep again. If a person is high-functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome. I know Asperger's is an antiquated term. These individuals have many similar traits to toxic narcissists. If the person with high-functioning autism is very attractive, it can be very confusing because on the outside they look quote-unquote normal, but they seem odd and you can't quite put your finger on what the problem is. Again, this is my opinion and observation, so please don't jump down my throat. These individuals can be just as covert, predatory, sadistic, self-serving, sneaky, and nasty as the extreme narcissist. Autism is a neurological condition. These individuals lack empathy just like the toxic narcissist and have comorbidity with other psychiatric conditions like anxiety and depression, ADHD, substance abuse, just to name a few. They are very intelligent and can be pillars in the community, clergymen and local politicians, for instance. They have their special interests, their special area of focus, which is often primarily their work. That's part of their fuel, their narcissistic supply, their special interests. Because they have a difficult time socializing and can't read social cues, so they use the special interest to get their social needs met. But their relationships are shallow and lack depth. They aren't interested in relationships, not really, and certainly not interested in anything having to do with maintaining a relationship, and certainly not maintaining a romantic relationship. There is a lack of emotional There is a lack of emotional intimacy too with someone on the autism spectrum, high-functioning autism. And there will be no reciprocity in relationships, just like narcissists. They don't reciprocate and they lack a conscience, no remorse. Just like the narcissist, they take no responsibility for their part in the relationship. Now let's say this attractive person on the autism spectrum, high-functioning autism, who never had a formal diagnosis, I might add, had a narcissistic injury in childhood on top of all the undiagnosed autism traits, was raised by a mother, and I'm not blaming mothers here, was raised by a mother who had poor boundaries, put him on a pedestal where he could do no wrong, and was the only sunny boy in the family. Pile good looks and extreme narcissism on top of all the autism traits, and you have the ultimate shit sauce. A real recipe for disaster. They can be just as sociopathic, predatory, manipulative, conniving, and dangerous, just as extreme narcissists. They can't maintain relationships, and certainly not any romantic relationship. It's a whole new breed and level of douchebaggery. Excuse my language. They are perfectly capable of faking it, luring you in, love bombing, devaluing, and discarding you, and creating the ultimate shit sauce. They know how to stir the pot, and they do lots of damage. And they surround themselves with dumb flying monkeys and harem members and enablers, just like toxic narcissists do. This is a very long-winded discussion about just because someone is on the autism spectrum does not excuse or eliminate them from being highly narcissistic, hurtful, and destructive. There isn't enough love and patience and understanding that will tame Snaggletooth and burnish that tooth once and for all. Stop trying to understand poison. Snaggletooth the Narcissist presents in all kinds of costumes, masks, all different colors, shapes, and sizes. But the common denominator is that Snaggletooth lives in a world of hurt. Can Snaggletooth change? It's doubtful. It would take extreme motivation and extreme therapy on their part to make a dent in that disordered, gnarly armor of theirs. If you've been hurt by Snaggletooth, cut your losses and concentrate on yourself. Learn all you can about toxic relationships. Figure out what makes you happy, and work towards designing the life you have always dreamed of. Thank you for listening and watching. Be braver, braving it together. I want us together raising awareness about narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and toxic relationships, because that is the way we will make the world a better place. I love your comments, so please leave a comment below. Thank you to all my subscribers, and to my new subscribers, a big, humongous thank you. Sending you all a tight hug and love, and I'll be in touch again soon.